Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, giving all praise to the Most High Yahweh, acknowledgement of Earthly Mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledge Yahweh Shai. I pray the Most High blesses this lesson this evening, gives more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past, in order to understand events that are currently happening on the earth, so we get a much better understanding of the things that are soon to come on the earth. Family, I've been asking for years for someone to make a video showing me that the Most High limited us to 66 books. And of course, no one has ever produced a video proving that. So now let's take the next step and let's show you who are the ones that told you what you could and could not read and have been manipulating what you can and cannot read for hundreds of years. And see, those same spirits are here today. You know, we get people coming on the comment board talking about, I only need 66 books. That's all I need. It's all about relationship, and it's all about just, having a relationship with Jesus, and that's what's going to save you. And there's nothing in these books and things like that. But, like I said, in prophecy, it says that the Most High is going to send the Holy Spirit, and she's going to bring all things into remembrance. Now, yeah, of course, you can get downloaded with the Spirit. Spirit, you get downloads as well. But that doesn't exclude the fact that the Most High made the other nations write records that eventually we are going to get our hands on. The Most High is going to put them back in our hands here at the end. See, many times the Most High will give us information and give us understanding, and then later on he'll bring the books to confirm what he has been telling us. See, for like the last few weeks, the Most High has really had me look into the Inquisition. That's something I really have never really looked at in depth, but the Most High had put it in my heart to start to study that. And then through my travels, I've been doing some traveling and looking, for books and things like that. And lo and behold, I find a commentary that goes exactly with the things that the Most High has had me study about the Inquisition. This commentary actually shows that these other, Protestants and things like that were actually um, equating the treatment of the Jews to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and the curses. And those are the things the Most High was already having me look into before I even found this commentary. And it happens to me quite a bit where the Most High will show me certain things, and then he'll bring a book that I had no clue about or whatever else, and it will confirm things that he's already shown me. See, and that's the thing. Like, hey, people are like, oh, none of the stuff in the Bible ever happened. None of the people are true. It's all astrological signs, and that may be true. But the Most High has given us, a lot of prophecies and things like that in order for us to be able to figure things out here at the end. The prophecies are being fulfilled. Now, none of these things ever happen and these people aren't true. Well, I mean, I don't know. But what I do know is that prophecy is being fulfilled as we speak. So let's take a look at this book real fast, okay? It's called A Critical History of the Inquisition of Spain, and it's by Llorente. This guy named Llorente. Okay, he was given access to records for the Inquisition, and he was studying it for a couple years, and he ended up writing this book that the Catholic Church was really upset about. So let's take a look at some of this information here. This is from this chapter, okay, talking about. Let me pull it up real fast so I can tell you guys exactly what it says. This chapter in this book, it's called The History of the Inquisition. And this particular chapter deals with, it deals with them actually, hold on, I'm getting there, them hiding books. Okay, this is actually chapter 13, and it's called Of the Prohibition of Books and Other Articles. And we're just going to take a look at a couple of parts. So we're going to show you how it was not the Most High that told you what you can and can't read. It's been these churches that have been the ones who have been hiding knowledge. Just like we said that the Most High said he's going to use the other nations to hide our information. And this is the proof of that. So it wasn't the Most High that gave you 66 books. Of course, that was the Catholic Church, and all the other churches are all confederate with actually going along with that. Okay? So it says in 1556, the government commanded that no work relating to the affairs of America should be published without a permission from the Council of the Indies, and that those already printed should not be sold unless they were examined and approved, which obliged all those who possessed any to submit them to the council. The officers of the customs in America were also obliged to seize all the prohibited books which might be imported and remit them to the archbishop and bishops, who in this case possessed the same powers as the inquisitors of Spain. Now, like I've said before, where in the scriptures does it say that the Gentile nations or that the Catholic Church has the power to dictate what you can and cannot read? And we're going to see which books they're talking about. See, you've always been told that all these books were all about devil worship and things like that, but they weren't going after just supposedly devil worshiping books. They're going after books that actually talk about the things that happened here in the Americas. Why would they be hiding this information? Why are they hiding? See, when you want to push a religion of love and equality, then you should be talking about the love and equality you brought to the Americas. That should be well documented. You shouldn't have to hide the books that are going to talk about what you really were doing here in America, because of course you were bringing love and friendship to the Aborigines and everything, of course, right? Well, apparently not, because they're trying to hide everything. Everything that was written about what was happening here needed approval. And if you didn't do what they said, they're going to send the Inquisition after you. And we already know how that's going to go. Now it says, lastly, Philip, right here, the second here, in 1560 decreed new measures, and the surveillance was afterwards as strictly observed in the colonies of the New World as in the peninsula. So they just brought that same vibe, those same laws for they were doing over there in Spain and Rome over here to the Americas. Now it says, although Charles V and Philip II neglected nothing that could prevent the introduction of prohibited books into Spain, several which were favorable to the Lutheran heresy penetrated into the kingdom. See, anything that goes against the church is considered heresy. It wasn't that it was bad, it was just it goes against their doctrine. It goes against Catholic doctrine. So therefore, this is Lutheran doctrine. So that's Lutheran heresy as well. In 1558, the Inquisitor General published an edict more severe than any of the preceding, and also drew up an instruction for the use of the inquisitors, importing that all books mentioned in the printed catalog should be seized. Okay? That a public auto de fe should be made of those tending to heresy. That the commentaries and notes attributed to Melanchthon should be suppressed in all the treaties on grammar where they were. Let me go there real fast. Wasn't the best picture. My apologies on that part, but you can at least hear it real fast. Let me get it. The last line there. Okay. Should suppressed in all treaties and grammar where they were introduced. That the Bibles marked as being suspected should be examined. So they're going after Bibles too. Okay. That no books should be seized except those mentioned in the list. That all the books printed in Germany since 1519 without the name of the author should be examined. That the translation of Theophylact by Ecolampadius should be seized. Likewise, some volumes of the work of St. John Chrysostom, which had been translated by that arch heretic and Wolfgang Nusculus. That the commentaries by heretics on works composed by Catholics should be suppressed. So again, so commentaries by supposed heretics on works composed by Catholics should be suppressed. So when they're breaking down the writings of Catholics and probably giving another opinion, those would be considered heretical writings as well. See, anything that goes against their teaching is considered heresy. You see, same thing. So again, the commentaries by heretics on works composed by Catholics, okay, should be suppressed. and that a book on medicine might be seized, although it was not mentioned in the index. So see, anything that goes against what they say, and they do the same thing today. I got called a heretic because I have a different point of view of the scriptures. No different. That's why I said this whole spirit of the inquisitors and the Inquisition is still alive and well today. See, that's why I did a live on my YouTube channel last night, and it was just like, hey, you're not a everyone, every other religion can have their own breakdown of the Bible. Every other religion can have, hey, if Seventh Day Adventists want to do, their stuff on Saturday, that's cool. If Mormons want to have their Book of Mormon, that's cool. If Jehovah's Witnesses want to believe there's 144,000, that's cool. If Christians want to, they don't want to have saints and whatever else, that's cool. If Catholics want to have saints, that's cool. But wait, you say you're a Hebrew? You say you're an Israelite? You say you don't want to follow our feast days? You say you want to follow the law in order to have a relationship with the Most High? Then there's a problem. Then there's a problem. But anyone else can do whatever the hell they want to do, and there's not a problem. But like I said, that's why when we have our videos and we have our discussions, all of a sudden you got trolls, you got all these people wanting to come in and try to, oh, you're wrong, your breakdown of this is wrong. I'm like, bro, I don't go to your channel. I don't care what you think. No one's trying to convince you of what we're talking about over here. But see, you want to come over here and try to disrupt things. This is exactly the same thing that the Inquisition did. They did not allow the Hebrews to even just go into their own homes and observe their laws. That was a cause for you to get accused by the Inquisition and killed. If you're just practicing your beliefs in your own home, that means they can come in, arrest you, take your possessions, take everything from you, and put you in jail and eventually burn you and kill you. So it's just the same motivations and the same things that they did back then. They're still trying to do today. Okay, and when it was your time to be for your blessings, hey, the Most High allowed you to do that. That's all goes back to the Book of Enoch and the 70 shepherds. And the Most High said He's going to let the sheep go under your rule, and He told the angels to keep track because they're going to kill way more than they're allowed to, than they're supposed to. They're only supposed to kill the ones the Most High has approved, but they went ahead. These other nations went ahead, and the 70 shepherds went ahead and killed all the ones they wanted to, which is exactly what this is talking about. Now it says, when this edict was published, Francis Sanchez, professor of theology in the University of Salamanca, wrote to inform the Supreme Council that he had occupied himself for several years in examining dangerous books and gave his opinion on the course which ought to be pursued. Now check this part out. The council, in consequence, decreed that those theologians, in the university who had studied the Oriental languages should be obliged, as well as other persons, to give up their Hebrew and Greek Bibles to the commissaries of the Holy Office on pain of excommunication. So they wanted them to, hey, give us the Hebrew Bibles, give us these Greek Bibles. You can't have those either. So all of a sudden now, Greek and Hebrew Bibles, there's a problem with those books as well. You see what I'm saying? Like, they're just wanting to control every little thing because they know that they're doing dirt. See, the whole point of the Inquisition, I'm going to do another video on this to show you guys, is that, see, when the church was being set up, there were all these other supposed, like the Albigensis and all these supposed secret societies that were talking about how the Catholic Church was the church of the devil. And that if you got rid of the Catholic Church and the popes and all of them, that would usher in the 1,000-year reign. So the Catholics and the popes felt threatened. So therefore, they set up an Inquisition to go after anyone who did not believe in their dogma and didn't follow their narrative. That was the whole setup. That was the whole vibe and of the things that were going on in society at that time. And we'll show you guys that as well. Okay, so again, as well as the other persons, to give up their Hebrew and Greek Bibles to the commissaries of the Holy Office on pain of excommunication. Okay, that the proprietors of Greek, Arabic, and Hebrew books not mentioned in the list should not be molested. Okay, that the order concerning the books printed without the name of the author related only to modern productions. That the request made by some persons to be allowed to keep Pomponius Mela with the commentary of Nidicano should be refused. That these books should be remitted to the council to be examined. that the order to seize all works containing errors should only be applied to modern books. Okay, and we'll read more about this later on. But the whole point was that this is like, hey, to give up their Hebrew and Greek Bibles, they got to give up those books as well. You see, these were the people who told you that you couldn't read this and you can't read that, and this is why you can't prove that the Most High did this, because he's telling you to study to show thyself approved. He's telling you that you got to become as a child again, which means you need to unlearn all the things that you have learned, because you've been given a doctrine that's very, very narrow-minded, and you've missed so much other information. So it wasn't the Most High that told you only 66 books. It's been the Catholic Church and all the other harlots that have gone along with the Catholic Church who've all pushed the 66 books only. That's why at the end of Revelation, it pretty much just stops at around 70 AD, and all the dirt that they've been doing ever since is, they can hide it and say that that has nothing to do with the Bible, has nothing to do with prophecy, and that prophecy is just going to pick back up again as soon as everyone here is raptured, all the good Christians are raptured, and then the Antichrist comes on the scene. Then all of a sudden, the Bible and the end days are going to begin. So that's a good trick, good try, but the Most High is going to show you that, there's so much information out here that, hey, if you can figure it all out without reading a book, be my guest. But I need the books in order to give me more understanding. The Most High had these people write these books so that he could give them back to us at the end so that we can expose the lies and get back to the way things should be. And that's exactly what's going to happen, because that's the will of the Most High. Just like Isaiah 14:1 says, this is exactly what you're seeing going on right now. So these are the prophecies that they do not want to talk about. They do not want to admit are happening. That's why they, this is going to happen in the future. Good trick, but that's not what's happening. Isaiah 14:1, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob. That's exactly what he's had. He's had mercy on us and will yet choose Israel. He has chosen his nation, his chosen people once again, and set them in their own land that is to come. And a stranger shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. See, many people are going to start to cleave to the house of Jacob because they're going to realize that we are the ones that are being shown the truth. We are the ones that have a relationship with the Most High, and we're going to be the ones that are going to show the world the truth. And we're going to show the fact that, look, Gentiles, you have an opportunity to chase after the Most High right now. Israelites, same thing. There's a pecking order to everything, but he's given the Jews and the Gentiles an opportunity to hear this truth. All this information was written in books because the Most High was going to give them back to us, just like it says in 2 Esdras 14, that there's, the first few books are going to be published so that everyone, the worthy and the unworthy, can read them. But he's going to be leaving 70, which is like, again, spiritual perfection. Doesn't mean 70 books. It's just the spiritual perfection. A huge amount of information that has been hidden is going to be released. And only certain people are going to be able to accept it. Okay? And that's exactly what you're seeing going on right now. The Most High has turned his face back to Israel, and he is now, bringing us back, and he's now reestablishing his relationship with us, and he's allowing us to teach the world once again. And he's given hey, look, Gentiles have lived harmoniously with Israelites on and off throughout history. You see what I'm saying? They've worked hand in hand. I said it's not like, if you go through the scriptures, you got Moses dealing with the Egyptians. He lived with them for 40 years. They were working together. Joseph worked with the Pharaoh harmoniously for the good of all the people that were there. Right. Daniel worked with the Babylonians for the good of the people. Right. So these are things that have been happening. Solomon had many people from other nations coming to learn from him. Enoch had the whole world under him, and they all came to work with him. So it's not like it's the Gentiles and the Israelites have to be constantly at each other. The Most High made it so that there's an order of how things are supposed to be, but that the Jews and the Gentiles have worked together and lived together, following the ways of the Most High, following the ways the Most High has set things up. That's why it says, if you bless Israel, you'll be blessed. If you curse Israel, you'll be cursed, because there is going to be a remnant of people that are going to bless Israel and going to work together. All praise is the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledge it Yahweh Shai. Shalom.